I want to talk about something that doesn't come up often enough in discussions about, high tier shit. Something that you really have to already be an expert in the field to discuss. I want to talk about the importance of the layman. I myself am a layman in almost everything. I'm not really an expert on anything. Yet. Someday I'll find that thing that I want to be the expert in. But I think it's important that you hear out the layman when they have an idea. Even if it's a stupid idea and you would never do it because you know as the expert that it wouldn't work. It's important to listen to the idea because you have no idea what's going to come out of their mouth. You cannot for the life of you guess what the layman is thinking because you're too close to the problem. So I think it's always important to, when you know something about a topic, listen to people and give them a chance to speak when they don't know anything about the topic. For me, that's just about anything. If I don't know a lot about a topic, number one thing I like to do is listen. But of course, that's not always possible. Sometimes I'm like, well, I have this thing I want to say, and whether or not it's anything I should say or anything that would matter almost is irrelevant. Because the second that I say something that nobody has thought of, I've gotten in. And if it doesn't pan out, then it was just the perspective of a layman. I think the perspective of a layman can also help while, having these highbrow conversations to relate it to other people who are not fully versed in the topic. The number one thing I see on YouTube when I search how to do this or how to do that, because I'm doing research for a video that I may want to do in the future, is nobody ever really talks about the very basics. I'm currently doing research for Pokemon card flipping, where you buy the cards and then you sell them back at a profit. And everybody's talking about the different grades of cards, but nobody's really talking about what that means. I've watched 3 or 4 videos of how to start your own, Pokemon card flipping business, and none of them have talked about the basics of why these cards are, important, why they're worth money. And I think that is the wildest thing, because it's predicated on the idea that people who are not already into a hobby cannot, under any circumstances, learn that hobby. If you don't know jack shit about the Pokemon TCG, then you can't flip cards, which is bullshit. Because regardless of what you know about the Pokemon TCG, you can open a pack of cards, look up how expensive a card is, and know in the future that, hey, that card's worth some money. But what I need to know, what I need to understand, and what nobody seems to want to say or explain is, why is that card worth money? What's going on in the meta that makes that card valuable? What's going on in the collector scene that makes that card valuable? What is it that makes people want to buy this card? And that is where the perspective of a layman comes in. I don't know jack shit about the Pokemon TCG. I've played it once, and it's been so long that I've forgotten everything I knew about it. So when somebody says that grades of this, or cards of this specific grade or rating, are what you need to focus on, I don't know what that means. And I don't know why cards in that rating are popular right now. So I have to do a lot of extra research about the state of the meta, the basics of the Pokemon TCG, just to be able to get the layman's perspective. Because people who are making these tutorials are too close to the problem. So what they need to do is either Try to remember what it's like to not know what's going on in the situation, or, more importantly, have somebody with you who you are actively explaining it to, rather than just making a video. Because if you are claiming that this is the first video you should watch about Pokemon TCG card flipping, and you start with, this is the grade of cards you should focus on, and don't give me any explanation about why that card is important, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And this isn't the first video I should watch. I should watch, basics of the Pokemon TCG first by some other YouTuber, because I had to go off of your video to even understand your video. Focus on the layman for at least a little bit to ground the topic. If nobody understands what you're talking about, nobody's going to watch the video. But that's about it. I just wanted to make that and kind of, put that into perspective, into people's minds. As a layman, I am the layman. I am not claiming to be an expert in jack shit. I, as the layman, want to know the very basics of what you're trying to explain to me. If I look up the very basics, and the first thing I see is information that is predicated on me already knowing how to play the Pokemon TCG, what the meta looks like, what card grading is about, then you've lost. You've lost me. I'm no longer interested because I don't know what's going on. Period. And I think there needs to be a bigger focus on relating things to the layman.